Who is to blame? That is the question everyone is trying to answer in the wake of yesterday's school shootings in Springfield, Oregon. For the fourth time this school year, a student has opened fire on his classmates, shattering lives, shaking a community and the country. What turned this teenager against his friends and apparently his own parents? What is going on with America's children? Well, tonight we look for clues in exclusive interviews with the suspect's closest friends, including two boys who may have been the last to speak with him before the killings began. Elizabeth Vargas is in Springfield, a town changed suddenly yesterday morning.
Late today, 15-year-old Kip Kinkel was in court, charged as an adult with murder. He entered no plea. Early today, a second student from Thurston High School, 16-year-old Ben Walker, died from head wounds. And at Kinkel's house, where his parents lay dead, police found a small arsenal of explosives. What happened to this teen from what seemed to be an average American family? We talked to those who may have known him best.
I loved him as a friend. He was a good friend to us, and he would never betray us, and that's really what a friendship's all about. And
Nick Hyacin and Tony McCowan were Kip Kinkel's two best friends. They believe they were the last people to speak with Kip in the hours before he opened fire in the school's crowded cafeteria. They still can't believe it was their friend pulling the trigger.
He was popular. A lot of people liked him. He was a class clown, kind of would crack jokes and make people laugh. So
he was also voted most likely to start World War III. What does that mean?
That was just a gag.
That was
just a gag.
That wasn't. There wasn't a real vote. That was some kids decided that would be him.
The freshman football player was described by teachers as a solid student, a typical 15-year-old. But Kip Kinkel suffered from attention deficit disorder and has taken Ritalin to help him focus at school. His two closest friends knew another side of Kip.
He had not an obsession with guns, but he was into guns.
He always has to have a gun. I don't know if it would give him some kind of inner, feeling that made him feel like he was complete. It's hard to say.
Police say Kip was well armed when he went to Thurston High School Thursday morning.
The weapons involved are a .22 caliber semi-automatic Ruger rifle.
And according to his friends, there was more.
And a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah, the sawed-off shotgun no one knew about, not even his parents. I guess it fit into a box about, it was taken apart. It was pretty small.
The fascination did not end with guns. Friends say Kip was intrigued with explosives. Police have found 4 homemade bombs, a hand grenade, and an explosive charge hidden in his home.
He even talked about blowing up a cow once.
In middle school, he'd made some small bombs.
He built bombs?
Just with stuff you can find in the house.
To all appearances, Kip came from a good family. His parents, Bill and Faith Kinkel, seen here in 1991, were both popular Spanish teachers in Springfield schools and excellent parents, according to family friends Sandra and Renus Cochran.
No, I think if you describe Bill and Faith both, very devoted parents, both hard workers.
But according to Kip's friends, relations were strained in recent weeks between Kip and his parents. He had been grounded, and his parents had recently discovered his gun collection and took the weapons away. Then, 2 days ago, school administrators found a stolen gun in Kip's locker.
We saw him sitting in the vice principal's office.
The school expelled Kip, and police arrested him and brought him to the local jail where he was booked on felony gun charges. Officers then released the teen to his father because Kip was a juvenile with no serious criminal record. It was here at Kip's home on the outskirts of Springfield that police believe he crossed the line from troubled teen to cold-blooded killer. Officers believe sometime Wednesday, Kip snapped and shot both his parents to death. In fact, when Kip's friends Nick and Tony called early Wednesday evening, Kip's father may already have been dead.
Was there anything in the conversation that made you believe that he had done something like that?
No,
as
not at all.
serious as that?
Nothing like that.
No, he said his dad wasn't even there.
I noticed that he was really nervous. He was waiting for his mom to get home. And he kept repeating that, "Where's my mom from the retirement party? She should be home."
What did he say?
Just, and it's not what he says, the way he's talking is like, let's not talk about my parents, everything's done, everything's over with, let's just move on, let's talk about something else.
Police believe that sometime after the three friends hung up the telephone, Kip's mother returned. Her body is one of the two found in the Kinkel home.
Looking back, you see things that maybe were a little bit out of the ordinary, but during the time it happened, you didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
By the time we talked to him, I mean, there was no turning back for him.
That night, it was done and said with in his mind. I'm sure he had decided to go to the school. It was all planned out.
Why do you think he would go to the school and do that?
To get his blaze of glory. I don't think Kip planned to live through it.
Police believe Kip spent Wednesday night in the house with his parents' bodies.
Did Kip ever threaten or in a moment of anger say, "I'm going to kill my parents"?
No, not his
at all.
parents, no.
Did Kip ever in a moment of anger say, "I want to kill somebody else"?
Well, it was all in a joking manner. I mean, there'd be times where we were out at Tony's and he'd just go rage. I mean, he would just be to where, the point to where I'd be like backing off of him. I mean, sit down, Kip, it's okay. Because, sometimes he'd be so red and so mad over some stupid stuff. It's just, it's like he bottles up all of his tensions and all of a sudden lets him go.
Police say early Thursday morning, Kip Kinkel loaded 3 weapons and dozens of rounds of ammunition into his parents' car. He drove along the forested road toward town. By the time his friends Tony and Nick arrived at the school campus, Kip was already there.
Some friends of ours came out yelling that Kip was inside shooting people, and we just kind of were like, yeah, okay. We didn't really take it, or didn't really think they were telling the truth.
You thought it was a joke?
Thought it was a prank from them.
Right then, when I was walking down the hallway, I heard people yelling, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, and I was just shocked.
Christy Cooper had been friends with Kip since the 8th grade.
I didn't know he had been released or anything like that. I thought especially that he was smart enough not to come back on campus because he was expelled. I was just getting ready to turn around and say, "Ben, come on, let's go to class," and hug him and stuff, but I didn't do it in time.
Cheyenne Schreier had quarreled with her boyfriend, Ben Walker. She never got the chance to make amends.
I heard this shot, and then I looked behind me, and Ben was lying on the ground. My heart was broken because, he was lying on the ground and I couldn't do anything for him.
At 7 o'clock this morning, Ben Walker became the second victim to die of his wounds. Many more might have been killed if not for the heroism of one of the wounded students, 17-year-old Jacob Riker.
Jake said he watched 2 of his friends standing beside him get shot at point-blank range. Then he saw his girlfriend go down.
Linda is Jacob's mother.
He said to me, "Mom, I just knew I had to stop him. He couldn't hurt me any worse." And he said I was going to stop him so he couldn't keep shooting people.
Tell me how Jake is today.
He's doing real good. His spirits are high, and they are just keeping him down and rested.
This evening, as this town struggles to understand what turned a 15-year-old boy into a killer, Kip Kinkel's close friends struggle with questions of their own.
One of my friends took that picture, and he, gave me a hug, and he was always smiling.
When you look at it, what strikes you most about him, especially given what he's now accused of doing?
He looks so innocent. Seriously, I don't believe it's the same person. I sit here and think everybody thinks that he's this big murderer, and I know him as one of my good friends at school. And it just really upsets me.
If you could talk to Kip tonight, what would you say to him?
Why, and why did you lie? Why did you, and it just...
How could you?
How could you? What were you thinking?
The people that you've hurt, the people that, the things that you've put people through, the things that you're going to go through, why'd you do it? There's always a way out, and you should have talked to somebody. It should have never resulted in this.
Once again, and too late to help the students of Springfield, The issue of gun control is front page news. And now more than ever before, there is a clamor for legislation to make guns harder to get, especially for children. There is the need to pinpoint the causes of this kind of desperate act by children so young, and to recognize signs of trouble in these children and intervene immediately and aggressively. This year alone, nearly a dozen students and teachers in 5 states have paid with their lives for our lack of understanding and action.